Hi, I'm Kerry Upton. I'm the Chief Operations Officer for the Santa Monica-Malibu Unified School District. I've been asked to do a history and overview of the school facility program. Now, this is a very general overview. I'll do it in a couple minutes just so you understand what it is we do here and what we need to be doing. The Santa Monica School District was originally founded in 1875 when the city was founded. So it grew up with Santa Monica. And as Santa Monica grew, the district grew and expanded very, very quickly, adding multiple campuses, including this one, Santa Monica High School, which originally arrived here on Prospect Hill in 1913. The people in Santa Monica wanted traditional school buildings when we were building at the beginning of the last century. A lot of them were built with bricks. This became a challenge then when the 1933 earthquake happened, the Long Beach earthquake, which damaged or destroyed 90% of the school buildings here in the school district. From that came what we call the Field Act. The legislature passed this. This is a set of regulations to make sure that all school buildings are built safely and that all of them go through the Division of State Architects. The earthquake occurred in the midst of the Depression, and there wasn't a lot of money to rebuild schools. Luckily, the Federal Works Project Administration jumped in to rebuild the Santa Monica campuses. So they came in and we relocated, we moved, we rebuilt. Some of the buildings, which were 2 stories, became 1 story, and other things occurred to rebuild the campuses. This included Santa Monica High School here with the business building, the Barnum Hall. It also included Lincoln Middle School, John Adams Middle School, our elementary schools, Grant, McKinley, Franklin, Roosevelt, and also redid Washington and Olympic, which now is known as Obama Center. Construction took place between 1936 and 1952, but the construction continued moving through into the 60s with the baby boom as a lot of our campuses expanded to support the number of students that we had. Also during this time in Malibu, we went from having a few small single-room schoolhouses to building the first campuses there at Juan Cabrillo, Webster, and Malibu Park Middle School, and that's when the district really combined to become the Santa Monica-Malibu Unified School District. Around this time, we also moved and split away from the college. Many people don't know that Santa Monica College was originally part of the school district, and in the 1970s, they split and they became a separate entity. In 1978, Proposition 13 passed, and that changed the entire landscape of school finance. Now, when you look at school finance, you have to really look at it in 2 separate ways. There's the general fund, which pays for operating expenses. That's our annual dollars to pay for teachers, to pay to educate kids, to pay for custodians and maintenance folks and everyone who works as part of the school district, and all the money spent to pay for operating the school district. Then there are the capital funds, and those funds are derived from bond dollars and other sources, and they are for buildings, for things that last, for things that are with us for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. So this money is really to be spent for the real lasting things. Now, it's important to realize that general fund money can be spent on maintenance and should be spent on maintenance, but bond dollars are not to be spent on teachers and operating costs. They're not allowed to be spent on those things. Bond dollars also should not be spent on regular maintenance. One way to look at it is maintenance dollars, which comes from the general fund, is to be spent to fix a leaky roof. But bond dollars are there to replace the roof, which is the longer-term investment. From 1978 until the late 90s, here in the Santa Monica-Malibu Unified School District, we spent very few dollars on capital projects, on improving our schools. The Gen Xers came in, the enrollments went down, and so we didn't really have as much of a need. But then as we entered into the 90s, as the millennials started coming in, we had an increase in enrollment. So we started needing to spend some more dollars. And so at that time, we started adding portable classrooms. We started adding modular classrooms. There wasn't a lot of real expansive improvements or that much improvement on our schools. So during the 90s, we did pass two relatively small bond measures. Measure ES, which was in 1990 for $75 million, and Measure X, which was in 1998 for $42 million. And with that bond measure, we did a deep level of campus planning, a level of campus planning that we hadn't done previously for many, many years. And we really looked at how we would change and how we would upgrade our facilities and the need that existed. With those funds, we did major improvements at the middle schools and the high schools. At Santa Monica High School, we built the Innovation Building. At Malibu High School, we built the new admin, library, and classroom building. We built new buildings at John Adams and Lincoln Middle School. We also built the new Edison Elementary School. In 2012, we went out for another bond measure. This was Measure ES, which was $385 million. This was to continue the work that we had already started. So here at Santa Monica High School, we developed a full campus plan to really rethink this campus of where it needs to be for its second 100 years here on this site. From that, we developed what's now known as the Discovery Building, which was phases 1 and phase 2. At most of the schools, though, we did an extensive modernization project. So we went into practically every classroom in the district and we updated it in many different ways, window, paint, floor projects. We also began our air conditioning, our heating, ventilation, and air conditioning projects, and we added better classroom technology. So that was the process and projects that were part of Measure ES. But as we came through Measure ES, one of the things that became very clear was how much, in this new century, how much education is changing and how much the students need something different from our facilities and how the facilities needed to adapt for that. Through a process that we called our education specifications, the ed specs, as we call them, looks at the facilities and asks the questions, how do these facilities need to change or be to teach the students of today? And this was aligning very much with the educational practices we were already doing in our classrooms. It's just that the facilities weren't supporting it. And as facilities are in some ways the third teacher, we needed to give our teachers and our students the tool they needed to increase and improve their education. Responding to our different communities of Santa Monica and Malibu and their different needs, we took a slightly different tack with our general obligation bonds when we went out in 2018 and created two separate school facility improvement districts, one for Santa Monica and one for Malibu. And the voters approved over 70% the two bonds that were part of that. So Measure SMS was part of the Santa Monica bond that was $485 million passed in 2018. And with that bond, we moved to the next major phase of Samo High, rebuilding Samo High, phase 3, which is the new exploration building and the gold gymnasium. We also completed our modernization projects at our elementaries and middle schools and our HVAC, our air conditioning projects. And we've planned some real important projects at our elementary and middle schools. Mostly they're portable replacements, getting kids out of these 1977 and 1997 portable classrooms that were meant to be temporary and putting them in new facilities. In Malibu, we passed Measure M, $195 million, also in 2018. And with that, we completed the work at Webster and Malibu Elementary School. We also combined Cabrillo and Point Dume into Malibu Elementary School. And we designed the new high school. So we did a plan, a whole campus plan for Malibu High School, really looking at, we wanted the middle school and the high school to be separate at the same campus, but still separate and have separate identities, and really looking at what do those schools need to be the types of schools they were. With that, we've planned a new high school up in Malibu High School. It is currently going through the entitlement process, and we hope to begin construction on that very soon. To really understand our needs and where we are going, in the last few years, we have developed campus plans at all of our elementary and middle school campuses in Santa Monica. Very soon, we'll be doing the same for the elementary schools in Malibu. And with that, we took a very deep look at our historic resources and what those were. We really matched our education specifications with our current facilities, asking the question, how can we improve our facilities to really support learning? There are still needs. We still have older facilities that are not functioning, that are not serving our kids. There are other facilities that are that just need replacement, and there are things that we know we want to do or need to do educationally. So there are still definite needs for our facilities as they continue to age. I was asked to talk a little bit about general obligation bonds, just so you understand. So these are voter-approved bonds. We do what are called Prop 39 bonds, which means that they happen on the even years when we come out for it. That means that they would pass with more than 55% of the vote. It also means that we have to have a Citizens Bond Oversight Committee that observes and makes sure that we are aligning the expenditures with what was in the bond language. Now, when you vote for a bond, what happens is you're actually voting to tax yourself in your property taxes based on your assessed value of your property. That's the property that the assessors has set for your property. It only goes up incrementally due to Prop 13, but you're paying on what that assessed value is. For most of our bonds, you're paying somewhere between $30 and $60 for $100,000 of assessed value. And that language is always in the bond measure. Now, as bonds get paid off, they drop off, and then new bonds, as they are voted in, come in. But do understand these are 30-year bonds. It's like a mortgage that you're paying to improve your schools. So I hope that gave you a little bit of information about where we are. There's a lot more to know. There's a lot more to know about what our current programs are. We have a lot of that on our district website in our facility improvement projects pages. But just know that we're doing what we can to improve learning for our students, to meet them where they are, and to hopefully take them where they're going. Thank you.